Good morning, good morning. We are here live today. We are doing it across 3 channels today. So in the Coronavirus Business Support Group, our Ambition Growth Network members group, and also our Ambition Growth Network page. So welcome to everyone, and hopefully you'll enjoy the talk that we've got today from one of our founding members. We have live today Colin Worden, who has built up over the last few years an amazing team within Utility Warehouse, and he's here to share with us some of the kind of special ways that he's grown his team, how having additional income streams is really, really important, and sharing with us stuff about residual income. So please welcome to the screen Colin Worden. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, so lovely.
This is rather daunting, isn't it?
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's always good to go live. I find it's a lot more spontaneous, a lot more real. It's just great to obviously see people obviously watching from that point of view. So so tell everyone a little bit about yourself, Colin, and why you're here today, and we'd love to hear some more.
Well, I've been business networking, I suppose, for about 13 years. And I've also been in Utility Warehouse for 13 years. When I joined UW, it was quite by chance. It was a chance meeting on a caravan site down near Newquay in Cornwall. And a guy gave me some details. He struck up a conversation. I almost put it in the bin because at the time I was a very, very busy mortgage broker, running my own mortgage brokerage and insurance brokerage in Saltash. And I remember I was given the details on the Sunday, and come the Wednesday, I thought it was probably a scam. So I'll put it in the bin. At the time, it was about 11 o'clock. I was gasping for a cup of tea. So I thought, before I do, I'll just put the kettle on and then I'll watch this little DVD. Thank goodness I did. I think it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And that just happened to be the right time and the right place. Richard Branson says, if you see an opportunity, but you don't know how to do it, don't worry, grab it with both hands and learn how to do it later. And that was very much the case of me and Utility Warehouse. But 13 years later, it is now our main business and our main income.
I love the way that actually the opportunity was given to you on a DVD. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Obviously, how times have changed and how technology's obviously embraced itself. And 13 years ago, having a DVD was like height of the technology, wasn't it? I remember I got into network marketing actually with Richard Branson, so Virgin V back in the day, 13 years ago. And again, I watched a DVD and that presentation and that video that kind of sparked a few things. And I was just like, wow. And it's interesting, isn't it? Opportunities, there's so many of them out there at the moment. And I think actually there's a complete overwhelm with what to do. Decision fatigue sometimes sets in, doesn't it? And again, you kind of got to look at how it's going to embrace your life, how it's going to change your life, but also, if you don't take the risk, you're never going to know, are you? Never going to know.
It's got to be a calculated sort of decision, hasn't it, really? And what appealed to me was there was no stock to buy for a start. I didn't need premises. All I needed really was a laptop and a phone and transport, ideally, which of course I had. And we went from there. When I joined, the company had been going since 96, 97. It's 24 years now, so it must have been 96. I had to go to Bournemouth for my training, classroom training, which I had to do. And the guy who recruited me actually lived in Cannock in Staffordshire. And he said, well, you can go to Bournemouth for your training, can't you? So it's just along the coast. I said, I can get to Birmingham quicker than I get to Bournemouth. It's a horrible road. Anyway, so I went. It was a day that I had free and it had just coincided. So I went, I did the training, which was from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the evening. And, you finished up and your brain was like scrambled egg. Because there's so much coming at you. It's all changed enormously. We've got online training now. And we had that before COVID anyway. And there was classroom training as well. But the big thing is, I think that's changed now is you get a dedicated mentor for anyone who's joining the business. So whilst it's your business, you're not on your own. Yeah. And I think that initial support is so important.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously with the work that we've been doing during coronavirus, actually having a support network, but somebody that can teach you all the things about business, isn't it? Because a lot of people, I'm guessing, that join UW are people that are kind of looking to do this as a second income, or maybe they're at home with the kids or retired, or looking at kind of, they've worked in the kind of the 9 to 5 job type thing, or in the rat race, but actually it's the first kind of step, isn't it? I think obviously into owning your own business and kind of having that kind of understanding and that kind of not needing to work certain hours. But again, it's more about what you put in, you get back out, isn't it? And I think actually when you understand that, you can get a really good income back out of it as well.
Yeah, totally agree, Joe. It's about mindset, isn't it? And what we have to do really as mentors is to help someone to adopt the mindset of being a business owner, whereas perhaps in the past they've been an employee, maybe with a very responsible job, but it's still a different ballgame when you're actually running your own business. The beauty of this is that you're partnered with a FTSE 250 company that's won round about 30 Which Awards over the last 10, 12 years. And are very, very good at what they do. They've got tried and trusted systems. So, it's not totally a step into the unknown. You know what I mean? It was about the same time that I started business networking. And I was introduced to that, and I joined my first club as the mortgage broker, not as the utility warehouse guy, because like anything, I was quite skeptical. As my wife pointed out, in no uncertain terms, you don't know the guy, you've never heard of the company, it could be a scam, and you'll lose your good reputation about that over that. So I was cautious to begin with, who I introduced it to, but it did everything that it promised. So then you build confidence in it, and I suppose as well you build confidence in yourself that you actually can do this. And that's another big step for people. But I joined the first networking club as the mortgage broker. So I joined in July of 2007, and of course in October of 2007.
I remember it well, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
everybody started queuing outside of the Northern Rock to get the money out, because the rumor was that Northern Rock had run out of funds. They couldn't replace the 24 billion that they needed to replace on a quarterly basis because there wasn't any money left.
I was with Northern Rock at the time, actually. So yeah, feel the pain there. Feel the pain. Yeah.
Feel the pain. And whilst I was a very busy mortgage broker when I joined in 2007, 12 months later, I wasn't. And the industry collapsed around our ears. It all started to unravel. And whilst Kim and I had always been sort of fairly prudent, we haven't gone in for big loans. We had a mortgage. We had, a young independent family. So it wasn't easy times. And my income went down about 70% in 6 months. And you can tighten the belt so far, but you then start to use your credit card and everything else. I got drawn into debt solutions, debt management, and I linked in with a company who did training courses on it, and they seemed to be quite good at what they did and very fair. Having said that, it wasn't a particularly well-regulated industry. So coming from a financial services background, because I was a financial advisor for nearly 30 years, regulated by the Financial Services Authority as they were then, I did like the regulations because it set standards. And of course, with Utility Warehouse, we're regulated and licensed by Ofcom and Ofgem. So we have to adhere to their standards, and the company does. We're trained to respect that as well.
It's all about reputation, I think, as well, isn't there? And I said there's a lot of companies out there doing some real good work, but it's tainted by a few that aren't. So just got a message pop up actually from the lovely Carly. Oh, good morning. Oh, she says hi. Let's give a little wave, shall we? Morning, Carly. Lovely to see you.
Good morning, Carly. Yeah. So yeah, I've done a variety of jobs since the mortgage industry collapsed. Thank goodness that I'd left myself on a tracker mortgage, because when the interest rates dropped to 0.5% and then 0.25%, that probably saved the day. I'll be quite honest with you. But But yeah, I think the worst job I ever did, which I lasted 4 hours at, was
Oh,
debt collecting. All right.
wow.
Don't go debt collecting. All right. I didn't earn a penny and I got home to an abusive phone call. I thought, right, this ain't for me. It's different to when I started out in 1982 as the man from the Pru collecting the monthly premiums. Yeah, it's a totally different environment. So, yeah, I've done a variety of things, career work. I've done meet and greet for a hearing aid company, actually, where I drove their mobile, unit to doctor's surgeries all over the south of England. And that was actually quite good fun. So, yeah, if I'm meeting people, I'm generally happy anyway.
I think, yeah, it makes the world go round, doesn't it? Actually, dealing face to face with people, but actually, how we've changed over the last few months, isn't it? It's become a lot more digital nowadays, and I think obviously there's that fear a little bit of the face to face kind of meetups, isn't there? But again, it's still keeping that connection, that communication lines open, and actually having something that feels a little bit more natural, doesn't it? So, as I said, face to face on a screen like this is quite nice. You still get that connection, don't you? And you're able to obviously do it without having to drive halfway around the country to go and meet people. So I suppose it really speeds up how you can get new people on board as well, isn't it? Obviously, we were talking just before you came on about the exponential growth of the business in the last few months and how you've seen a big flood of people coming on board because, as I said, obviously it's the opportunity that people are looking at and going, actually, my job perhaps isn't secure. Actually, I've been on furlough or what have you. So obviously the income isn't at what it used to be, and people are wanting to actually take their responsibility to just see if they can earn money themselves, isn't it? Because I think actually it gives a really good opportunity. I mean, I've worked in network marketing myself, probably 3 or 4 different companies over the last 25 years. Some really good, some not quite so good, but actually, again, it gives you that flexibility, doesn't it? And obviously, some people just do it for a bit of pocket money, but as I said, you've made a full-on career out of it, and yeah, obviously doing really well. So it's good.
Well, it is a credible business. We offer services that people use from the cradle to the grave, and they use them on a daily basis. So that's great. We put all those services, and if anyone wants to speak to me afterwards in the coming days, that'll be great, and we can do like a personal sort of Zoom or meeting or whatever, and then talk about their individual services. But we do the telephone and the broadband, including the fiber optic, if it's available in that area. We do the mobiles. We've just got some new deals come out. They were announced a few days ago, where you can have a SIM-only contract for unlimited data, unlimited minutes, and unlimited text. The first one in the house is £20 a month. You can have 3 more with unlimited everything, and they're each £10 a month. So you could have 4 mobiles in there for 50 quid. Yeah, ideal.
Yeah.
And then we can look at adding the other services as well, whatever is appropriate at the time. Plus, we've got the cashback card to give you the discount on all your monthly spending. An example of that is we get 1% everywhere, pretty much, and then we got high street partners where there's between 3 and 7%, and another 2,000 retailers online through our members website, the Clubhouse, will then get more cash back than that. So you really can start to reduce your bill. So an example is just had the car MOT'd. Tires are okay, but we'll need a couple of new ones before the winter sets in. They'll probably be about £400 because they're quite big tires. I will pay with my cashback card, and then I'll have about £4 coming off the following month's bill. I've got to get the tires, I've got to pay for them, but I can then get some cash back off my bill, and it all mounts up. Every little bit helps.
Sound like you're working for Asda now. You got to slap your bum as well. Every little helps. Definitely, but no, it really does add up, doesn't it? And I think actually, when things are a bit tight, and when you're kind of, even when they're not really, obviously it's really important just to keep a track, really, isn't it, of where your income's going. But actually, a lot of people, a lot of business owners and a lot of entrepreneurs that we deal with are all talking about obviously the top line, the income, the profit. So the profit is what they talk about, but actually the amount of people that I speak to that are just wasting money left, right and centre on things they don't need, on direct debits for magazines or bits and pieces that actually they haven't audited their expenses as well. And then I think obviously there can be an awful lot of savings in it from that point of view. I mean, I've recently moved house, and as I said, Colin, you helped me with my transfer. So I've recently joined obviously the utility warehouse, which is good. And as I said, obviously I took over obviously all of the bills from my point of view. And for me, the reason I joined firstly was the ease of it, because again, you don't have to speak to lots of different companies and lots of different departments. And I said, obviously, when you've got one person that can deal with it, that for me saved a lot of time and hassle. But the second part was really the personal touch that you gave at Jane, and actually having kind of someone that looks after you if you've got a problem. Did have a little problem with my broadband, obviously, when we first moved in. Obviously, I think that was BT's fault. But as I said, obviously, it was a case that actually when they fitted it, there was an issue. But as I said, obviously, coming back to you and overseeing it from that point of view, for me, that took a lot of the hassle out of it. But also the savings, Jane, I've saved a significant money compared to my previous house.
I mean, when I left school, being a real petrol head, I wanted to be a motor mechanic, and I was for about nearly 11 years. Yeah. I had my own garage for 2 years, but I got fed up with being oily and dirty, and then not only doing the jobs, which was great, but then you got to get paid, and not everybody wanted to pay you. So an opportunity came up with the Prudential Assurance Company to join the Pru. I knew a lot of the guys from the Pru because Kim's mum, my mother-in-law, she actually worked for the Prudential as a part-time collector, for the premiums. So I'd got to know some of the guys, and I thought, well, they never look to be soon, too bad off. They got nice cars. They wear a suit to work, and they just seem to enjoy holidays and everything else. So I actually, this is the difference between Kim and me. All right. So I got back to my garage workshop, and I phoned Kim. She worked at the bank, and I said, Kim, I said, I've applied for a job. My landlords at the time, Plymouth City Council, wanted me to move workshops, and I would have been working for the bank. There was, I couldn't have supported the overheads. So I had to make a decision. And this opportunity came up, and I phoned the office, I got an interview, and then I told Kim about it. And Kim's reaction was, you don't know anything about insurance. I said, well, I'll have to learn. And then she said, you hate admin. I said, I know, but I'll have to get used to it. I'm still trying to get used to it, but whatever. And that was it. And I joined in March of '82, and I loved it because I was meeting people, and I am so much a people person. And it was a wonderful apprenticeship into home service and caring for people and building relationships. And also I worked with a variety of salesmen at the Pru. So there were those, and I thought, do you know what? I so like working with this guy or this lady because they're very professional, but they've got such empathy with people. And there were others where it's, oh my God, I worked with him before and I'm still apologizing to people that I took him to see. So it was a great apprenticeship. And I've tried to carry that on throughout my whole career. And it's something which perhaps either sits with people quite easily or it doesn't, and perhaps they've got to work at it. And I've certainly had to work at it. But I feel comfortable whoever I'm talking to now. And I've tried to carry that forward now with Utility Warehouse for the last 13 years. And I encourage all the team to try and do that as well. I'm very much a believer in conversation rather than presentation. Yeah. Everything starts with a conversation. And that was a lovely saying that I heard on here on one of our Zoom calls a few weeks ago. And it does. So, the more with conversation as well comes opportunity. They say with change comes opportunity.
Relationship is really important, I think, isn't it? And obviously it might not happen on the first time or the second time. And actually, Jane, as I said to you when I signed up with you, obviously that was 6 weeks ago, I suppose, when I moved house. Actually, at the time, it wasn't the right time when you first joined, obviously, AGN. Obviously, we got to know each other, and obviously that trust built up. And it was when I moved house, I thought, well, actually, I need to change everything around, and it was a perfect opportunity for that. And I think with every opportunity, you just never know when to plant the seed, isn't it? And actually it blooms at the right time. And I think that's with every business out there, and every entrepreneur is kind of all fighting for the attention, I suppose, from that point of view. But actually, if you just share the love, isn't it? Tell people what you do, explain how you can help and give value, and obviously spread that word out. When the time's right, they'll come back to you, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something that you said as well, just a few days ago, was it's collaboration rather than competition, isn't it? And that's what business networking is all about. And I belong to a number of clubs. I say I have done for the last 13 years. Usually we're meeting at like 7 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, and it's the traditional type, of course. And I'd never been on a Zoom call before this year. I had no idea. Oh my God, there's an app. I better download it, and that's it. And now look, it's how we're sort of communicating, really, most of all.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm just going to have a quick look on Facebook because I've got someone that's messaged on here saying someone's asked me to join something similar, but it just says Facebook user. So yeah, obviously we are doing it live on StreamYard today. So if you are watching and you want to make any comments or ask any questions, obviously do just give permission to StreamYard. It should be just at the top of this post. Click on it, and then obviously it will pop up with your little face on there and obviously your name. But obviously do send us another little message and let us know who you are, because that'd be nice to interact. So yeah, fabulous stuff. Super.
Can I say that there's an etiquette as well, isn't there, with business networking? I think the first thing to do is to be interested rather than trying to be interesting. Yeah, because we've got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth, and I think no matter what the situation, respect people's space. You can mention what you do in a conversation, but don't launch into a presentation, because it's just going to set the salesman alert, alarm bells ringing, and you put people off. So look, I'm here to help. If someone wants to contact me, that's ideal, and I'll certainly do my best for them. If the time isn't right, that's fine. When it is, I'll still be here, hopefully.
Oh, that sounds good. Lovely. So yeah, I think obviously it's really important, isn't it, the way that we talk about our business, because I said I've been to some networking events before, and you kind of get the people. I said there's like 3 or 4 different types of people that kind of go to these events, and I remember doing a talk about networking and how to do it effectively, because some people just go in, and whether that just because they're nervous or they don't know how to do it, or they kind of they're on their own and they kind of want the business, and they go around with their business card and they shove it in everybody's faces, give a 60-second pitch, and then run off before you've even got a chance to interact with them. And I find that quite difficult, actually. I don't find that's the way that I like to do business. I much prefer just to talk generally, find common interests, find out what's going on in their life, and actually how we can find ways of helping one another. Because I think actually when you can sort out someone's needs, and obviously in the time of me moving house, that was exactly what I needed. I needed someone to sort out all of my bills, sort out everything, set one fee, one piece of paperwork, and not have the worry and the stress. Because when you're moving house, I said, obviously it can be quite traumatic with lots of things to do, isn't it? Your to-do list gets so long. Like, shall I delegate that to someone else? Yes, please. But again, I said, obviously, I think it's personally a really good thing to review on a regular basis, isn't it? And I think gone are the days, you said with the Prue, obviously you've got someone coming around to your house. I remember when I was a kid, my parents had someone come around talking about insurance, talking about savings plans, etc. And they didn't go anywhere else. They didn't compare anything else, because actually that person was sat in front of them. They trusted them. They just went with it. Nowadays, I said, you've got to compare the market. You've got obviously all these different tools and things like that, but not all of the opportunities are there, and you don't get to see everything. You get a few ticky box highlights of what's available. But at the same time, I said, obviously, a lot of places don't give you back anything for being a customer for more than 1 year. Jane, when you stay with your car insurance, for example, obviously I was a bit lapsed, Jane. I kind of, instead of searching around, I was like, I haven't got time to do it, and carried on. And they put the price up by £30. And the next year I checked, and obviously I managed to get it £180 cheaper just by spending 3 minutes checking over and comparing what else was out there. So I think again, we need to check these things, but again, not everything in life is driven by price, and I think that's also an important lesson to hold as well, isn't it? Because customer service and the other value that you can be had in paying the right money for the right product is a really important life lesson.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people say to me, everything on one bill, because we do all the services on one monthly itemized statement. Everything on one bill. Well, just sort it out, Colin. I said, well, we're going to save you some money as well, hopefully. Look, the time is because they lead just hectic lives, that perhaps they're not the most organized people. So having everything on just one monthly bill going out at the end of the month, the last working day of the month. Yeah, and with the app that we have on the phone, you can check all your old bills. You can see what's going to go out now. I know exactly what we paid at the end of September. And I've got a breakdown of it, and it includes where you're actually at with your energy usage as well, whether you're in debit or in credit, because we have the smart meters here. Also, I mean, just this week I did a review with one of my clients. I was her man from the Peru back in the 80s. So we've known each other like over 35 years. Yeah. So didn't need to change anything at the moment, but I'm going to see her again in January. We'll just make sure then, because there's a mobile deal coming to an end and such like. Yeah, it's having someone that they can call on who they know isn't going to try and sell them everything. It's just a case of, actually, we've got a new fixed rate on the energy deal. We can pop you over on that if you want to. Yeah, little things like that. It's just customer care, isn't it? And I'm passionate about that. That's so important. For our business clients, I work with a brokerage as well as using utility warehouse. So if it's anything telephony or broadband, it's UW straight down the line, because what we can offer business, I think, is absolutely a cracking deal. And also for the mobiles, obviously. With the energy side, we don't offer, to the best of my knowledge, unless they've changed it in the last few days, a fixed rate. What we offer is just a rolling contract, 30-day basis for the gas and electric. So recently I did a charity shop supply in Saltash. They've only got the premises until March. Then it can be reviewed. So they need easy in, easy out. And I've done a pop-up shop actually next door to that one in Saltash as well. It's very low usage, and it's what suits the deal. If it's say more industrial, higher usage, I actually work with a firm of brokers based in London who go to the whole market, and there's over 40 companies that they can use. So if someone wants a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year fixed rate, we can sort that out. The benefit as well is, say their current deal doesn't come to an end for another 12 or 18 months, we can agree a price now to start when their current deal comes to an end. So for the business, that helps them project what their cash flow situation is likely to be, certainly what their energy costs, utility costs are going to be going forward. And we can compare then that deal to what they're offered by their existing supplier as well. So it's really, I do that more as a service, because we've used the brokerage many times in the last 12 months. And it's allowed me then, especially if it's new premises, to actually put in the telephone and broadband for utility warehouse. Yeah. So everybody wins. It's and I just enjoy doing that. And of course, every business owner has a home to go to, so we may be able to help at home as well. So it's just another form of networking in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I think I said, obviously, I mean, my background, obviously, before I got into the networking side of things and the business coaching, was in property. And I worked in property, since I left university, pretty much. So 20 years working in property. And again, especially in the rental market, it can be quite tricky, especially with things like HMOs and things like that. As I said, obviously, organising everybody's kind of, it's hard enough sometimes organising your own life, isn't it, and paying all the bills for all the bits and pieces, but when you've got other properties as well that perhaps you're paying bills for, or serviced accommodation and things like that, actually the ease of setting everything up, I think, is just so much easier, isn't it? So
Mm.
really good from that point of view. But let's talk about, obviously, we've got 15 minutes to go. Let's talk about, obviously, the opportunity, perhaps, obviously, that I put a little post out saying about, obviously, residual income and looking at, obviously, multiple streams of income. So as I said, obviously, most people know that you kind of do all of the utility services, but what do you offer with regards to people joining your team and kind of looking at getting another income stream, perhaps obviously from that point of view on a referral basis, or as I said, working with UW?
Well, when I joined, I knew nothing about utilities apart from my own bills. What I did realise was when I was talking to my mortgage clients and we were working out what the monthly budget would be for them to be able to afford everything, the helping them to save money on the utilities wasn't an option. I couldn't do that, and I hadn't really thought of the utilities side. I could see the mortgage market changing because of the deals that were on offer, but I had no idea what was around the corner, with the recession. So we'd already joined, and thank God we did, because it's been a long-term plan. And with Utility Warehouse, when I first joined, the pay structure was much different to what it is now. The most I could earn really from signing up a new customer at that time was around £40 to £50 if they took all the services. And because of the situation with telephone lines and broadband and everything, that sometimes wasn't an option. It wasn't the best advice. Now it's all changed. Technology has moved on, so much. It's left me far behind, I must admit. I am technically challenged. And so is the compensation plan. Because we have such good customer retention, the company have now enhanced what we can earn from signing up customers. Yeah, I don't get a penny for a new distributor joining the team, and quite rightly so. Whereas I paid nearly £200, £199.75 back in 2007, someone can join UW now for £100 joining fee. If they're already using our services, they can actually join for £50. Yeah, and it is a business in the box. They've got, for a start, their public liability insurance covered. They have online training. There is remote classroom training now, and everything's remote, all the training. But there's a lot of support there from day one. And whilst we've got, we're building quite a big team, so are some of my friends, and they're not in our team, I'm not in theirs, but we work together. We've got about 2% of the UK market, so there's still 98% to go at. Yeah, I think that's, so you wouldn't be joining too late. You haven't missed the boat, I promise you. So it can be a very good residual income. And some of the people who've come on board this year who have known nothing else but working remotely and doing remote signups and with remote supported signups as well. They've just taken to it like a duck to water because they don't have to get in the car and drive for half an hour or an hour to see a client who may not even be there. You can arrange so many more appointments in your diary. So anyone who's sort of reasonably competent and confident using the IT, then not a problem. For me, it's been a steeper learning curve.
But you've learned it, haven't you?
But I've learned it. And that's how we signed you up. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's all about time management, isn't it? I think actually the way that we're doing business now is very, very different, isn't it? We don't have to leave our own homes. It's better for the environment because we're not, as I said, traveling all over the shop. But again, quite often, obviously, I know we're both talkers, but you can kind of diarise yourself so that you've got all of your work kind of condensed, which leaves you with a lot more time to spend with your family, like the caravan, or doing stuff that you want to enjoy.
That's right. So we're all self-employed. Yeah. What I like about it, though, there is a defined career structure, and there are bonuses to be earned in addition to your normal earnings from, looking after the customers and everything. I joined for a residual income. Now, I'm quite sort of passionate about that and a passive income. And this goes back years. When I joined the Pru in 82, if we renewed an insurance policy, say like a house and contents or a motor, we'd get renewal commission. Okay, so it built up your basic wage. So you do the job once and it gets renewed the following year and you earn again. That's great. And when I had my own brokerage, we built up quite a portfolio on the general insurance, and we got renewals on that, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, when I actually retired 9 years ago this week from financial services, so that stopped. But I'd already passed my brokerage over to colleagues so that my clients would still be looked after. Yeah, they wouldn't be orphan clients. So with Utility Warehouse, yeah, you can earn good money up front now. And then after a period of time, you'll receive a proportion, a small percentage of each customer's bill on a monthly basis. Yeah, and we've got probably the best customer retention percentage in the industry, as far as I know, but don't quote me on that. Although we are live, yeah, but it's good. We look after people. The call centre's in London. It'll always be in the UK. We've been promised that. The company don't advertise at all. It all comes from word of mouth recommendations. Because of COVID this year, all the events that we would normally go and promote the company name have been cancelled. So yeah, it's much more on the referral basis. The company will pay £50 to any existing customer who recommends someone who then takes all 5 services from us. Yeah, and they will pay 50. They'll knock 50 quid off the following month's bill, which I think is lovely. It's a big thank you, and the company are very good at saying thank you. Yeah. So besides the money, we like to have a bit of fun as well. So there are the UW Minis around. There's over 1,000 of them now on the road, and that's a car that you can buy through the company. They'll subsidise the payments the more work you do. So for a lot of people, it's a car that they're the first owner of, rather than for a lot of us where we've been the last owner of a car in the past, as we wave goodbye to it towards the scrapyard. I don't have a Mini simply because I can't tow my caravan with it. All right, so there we are. But I certainly recommend it. There are big holiday incentives on as well to some really nice places. The current incentive started in the beginning of the month is the Christmas incentives. So a Fortnum and Mason hamper, shopping vouchers, and all the rest of it. So yeah, we like to have a bit of fun as well. It's whilst we're working with a corporate, there isn't the corporate pressures that I've experienced in the past in financial services. Yeah. So we have good fun, and I can honestly say that I've made lifelong friends in this company. People who are not necessarily in my team, but they're just lovely people. And let's face it, we're 98% of the market still to go at. There's plenty of business to go around. Yeah. What I do really get excited about is when someone comes on board and I'm mentoring them. And there's a young lad at the moment, he actually works with my son. He did his carpentry apprenticeship with my son. And I've been working, but unfortunately, when he was doing the job at his nan's house, he nearly cut his thumb off with a skill saw. Yeah. He'd already joined us and we'd started to do some appointments. And then I got a phone call one night, I'm up the hospital, and so he can't work. But what he has been doing is we've probably been doing appointments 3 days out of 5 each week. And we're starting to build up another income for him. Yeah. You never know what's around the corner. When I joined in 2007, I didn't envisage what was going to happen in 2008. Goodness me. No one did. So you never know what's around the corner. What I would say to anyone is choose, it's not get rich quick. Yeah. That don't really happen. So choose something where perhaps you have a passion for it. My passion is helping people. And where the initial setup costs aren't too great. Yeah. So this sort of tick the boxes. Yeah, 13 years later, we're still going strong.
That's really good to hear. You do hear lots of things about, obviously, especially in the network industry, people starting off and just losing faith in it after a while, isn't it? But it's really great after 13 years that obviously you've built it strong, and it's a testament to your customer service and the way that you treat your teams and help grow other people, isn't it? And I think obviously at Ambition Growth Network, that's kind of what we're about as well, isn't it? It's about mentoring people. It's about everybody helping each other to grow a better community.
Can I say that I think I've changed as a person in my time with networking, because what networking and UW has taught me is personal development.
Yeah.
I now read, I mean, this is the book I'm reading at the moment. It's we're back to front on the camera. The consistency chain for network marketing. There have been times where, I mean, we've moved house, we've had bereavements. When we were moving, we didn't want to take on another project, and we ended up buying our house in Plimpton, which turned into a 16-month major project. We're talking 6 figures, and we had 33 tradesmen here. Kim and I did all the preparation, design work, if you like. We told people what we wanted, architects, and all the rest. So, yeah, we didn't envisage that, but we just went for it. Went for it. Yeah. So that's me really. Be careful. There are a lot of scams out there. Unfortunately, there's a lot more since coronavirus, because there's always people who will be taking advantage. But there are some very genuine second income opportunities, and where we've done up houses over the years, which we've lived in, we've profited from that. So indirectly, that was almost like a second gig. And UW are part of the gig economy in a way. And our own CEO, Andrew Lindsay, said this a few months ago. You've got Uber cabs, you've got Airbnb. They don't own hotels or anything. Well, we don't have offices on the high street. We don't need to, but we've got nearly 50,000 distributors across the UK now who are helping people to save money, and we're helping people to save money. But we're doing it, I think, in a very nice way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're not aggressive and foot in the door people. We're there to help, and certainly that's the most successful people in our team are those who have been doing that consistently. And to see them come through now and achieve what they have achieved, and the earnings and the status they've got within the company is fantastic. I feel immensely proud, and if I've contributed to that in some way, then that's reward for me. It's fantastic. It's not just about the money.
Fantastic, lovely. I'm just going to ask you a little question now. So you weren't prepared for this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So obviously you joined us as one of our founding members. I think you're pretty much one of the first people in the doors when we opened up Ambition Growth Network. As I said, we met you on a networking Zoom call through the Coronavirus Business Support Group, wasn't it? Obviously coming along to those of a lunchtime, which was really nice to kind of meet and collaborate with other people. But what do you get from Ambition Growth Network? What's
oh my God, it's really taking networking, I think, forward. So there's still the traditional clubs, and again, it's about people, isn't it? What this does is puts us, I think, in touch with more people quite quickly. And now the essence of this was demonstrated to me just a few weeks ago. There was David in Durham who was advising Matt on something really quite specialist, and Matt was in Tavistock. Those two guys would never have met if they hadn't joined AGN. And that was it. In a nutshell, is what it's all about. Helping each other, it's support. There is so much expertise out there, but how do you tap into it? Now, with the Zooms and everything, if something good has come out of COVID-19, and there's 40,000 plus people who would say that it hasn't, and I feel for those, all of them and their families. But on a business sense, it's taken us from the traditional way, and we're moving forward. Years and years ago, the traditional way was you left school, you got a job for life, and then you retired at 65. And because we were in an industrial age, now we're in more of a service industry age. And I think that coronavirus business support was an absolute diamond of an idea. Yeah, well done to Carly and to yourself on that. And then for AGN to move forward from that is taking it to the next level. And I'm quite passionate that people should get involved, and I'm asking more people to join. I haven't been able to put the time in that I would really have liked, but it's because we're at a pivotal time in our business, and there's only so many hours in the day.
Absolutely, yeah. Can get quite crazy, isn't it? But as I said, obviously you came along to our first networking event. What did you think of that? Actually, face to face for a change. It was good.
It was great. It was great. The launch of the mobile phone app, that was brilliant. And I thought you did so well, because poor Carly was sort of sidelined with that. And then the visit to Drake's Island and everything. I've made lots of friends already, and there are more people in AGN now that I'll be speaking to. I would never have met them otherwise. So thank you to you and Carly as well, and to everyone who's joined. And together, I'm sure that we can all grow and prosper and help lots of people as well along the way.
Definitely. I think we're on a mission to change the world in a kind, loving way, isn't it? And I think actually when it comes to business, it doesn't have to all be kind of corporate and hard sell, because actually that's not how people want to live anymore. And at the end of the day, as I said, get the job done, but obviously do it in a way that people feel afterwards that they've been cared for and loved and actually helped along the way, isn't it? And adding that extra value, because as I said, everybody can do a job, but it's that feeling that you get after the job's been done, isn't it? And actually we've had some fantastic testimonials and feedback from all of our members, and I'm just really proud to be part of it, and see what the future holds, because as I said, COVID has stopped us from doing some of the bits and pieces that we would like to do. So I said, obviously doing it online isn't quite what we had planned when we were first looking at doing bits and pieces, but it's been really nice to, as I said, have a couple of other events. We've got a couple more coming up, obviously, which we're just trying to organise now. And as I said, obviously, actually to do networking and do business in a more natural way tends to make a much longer lasting relationship. And I think that's the way to base all of the foundations, good communication, and actually do it from a place where you're not going to see people off because you're actually friends with them, isn't it? So,
of course. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's been fantastic, Colin. Thank you so much. You survived your 45 minutes. I'm well impressed. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Stepping out into the adventure zone rather than the comfort zone.
The adventure zone is a place to be. But it's all about, for us, obviously, getting all of our amazing members of AGN to actually be visible, to be seen and be heard, to actually embrace the new zone that they're entering into. And as I said, obviously, the more we can talk about and connect with other people, the better the world will be. So thank you so much, Colin. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much, Jo.
Not a problem. After, obviously, we finish this, if you can put a little link in the post. So as I said, obviously, we put it on the Coronavirus Business Support Group, the Ambition Growth Network page, and also the members group as well. So if you just pop your little link in there with how people can contact you, maybe your email address, phone number, or Facebook page, however you like to be contacted. And hopefully people will be in touch. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Colin.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Oh, so that was the amazing Colin Worden. What a lovely chap, and really honoured to have him as part of our family members in Ambition Growth Network. I'm just going to pop up on the screen one of our little banners here, so just give ourselves a little plug. So if you are interested in becoming a member of AGN, obviously we'd love to have you join us. We've just recently released our new app, which you can download, and that can be downloaded on Google Play and on Apple. So do get along and download it. It's free of charge, gives you a bit more of a flavour of what we do and how we can help you. There's a whole load of personal development knowledge stuff in there about businesses, as well as social feeds and all of our videos as well. So get in there and have a little play. If you are interested in becoming a member, I said the price at the moment is just £30 plus VAT a month. So click on the link below and we'd be really, really happy to see you. So take care, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye.